Lots of returns are still happening, so we'll see what's going on there. We'll also see what Finn Balor had to say about adding more members to the Judgment Day, Bray Wyatt update, and more. Let's start things off with the latest on Bray Wyatt and all the other returns that have been happening lately. Well, in recent weeks, Triple H has wasted no time at all with bringing back several superstars who didn't have the smoothest departures from WWE. Hit Row has now been the latest example of a burnt bridge that was fixed by Triple H. Hit Row's first main roster run was one of the most confusingly awful usages we've seen in quite some time. Hit Row was a massive hit in NXT. They were capturing fan attention. They were creating so much buzz in NXT that word started going around that they would be called up to the main roster with the 2021 draft. And that's exactly what happened. The group gets called up to SmackDown, and there was reports that said Hit Row would be a focal point of this new era for SmackDown. And once they arrived on SmackDown, all 4 members were released in a matter of 3 weeks. B-Fab was the first superstar released from the group, literally days after her SmackDown debut. And the remaining 3 members didn't survive either. They were all gone in those following 2 weeks. So, to go from this massive success in NXT to fully released during their main roster run after 3 weeks was one of the most insane turnarounds WWE has seen in a while. So what happened to Hit Row during that first SmackDown run was a horrible experience. But Triple H went and brought all of them back to WWE. The only members not back is, of course, Swerve, who's under contract with AEW, so obviously there's nothing you can do about that. But the original 3 members are back on SmackDown, and similar to Karrion Kross and other returning superstars, they'll be given a fair chance to showcase their talents this time around in their second run under Triple H. So we've seen great talent come back in the women's division, huge names like Sasha and Naomi rumored to be coming back soon. We've seen Dexter, Karrion Kross, Scarlett, Hit Row. These are all great weekly surprises we've been seeing lately. But the biggest free agent, the biggest name at the top of the mountain is Bray Wyatt. If Triple H is wiping clean slates with all these superstars that had bad experiences with their WWE releases and walkouts, can he clean the slate for Bray Wyatt? The rumored fallout for Bray Wyatt in WWE was allegedly all the creative differences that he and Vince McMahon collided on. Bray had a very unique character, and as a result of that, it needed special treatment. But when it came to the Fiend's usage, it was just one bad decision after another. From the Seth Rollins match, to the Goldberg loss, to the Randy Orton loss, the Fiend's story just became a joke in his final few months. And you can understand Bray's alleged frustration because look at everything that happened with the Fiend from December 2020 to April 2021. He gets lit on fire, goes on a long hiatus, has his first match back at WrestleMania, only to lose to Randy Orton after building up this new, stronger Fiend. And on top of all of that, Alexa Bliss turns on him after spending 3 months trying to get him back in the first place. So truly, just a laughable bad story that was just all over the place and made no sense. Little did we know at the time that Bray Wyatt would go on another hiatus, only to be released 4 months later. And that was it. Everyone thought there was no coming back from that fallout, that we would never see Bray Wyatt in WWE again. But Triple H came along and now made it more possible than ever. Bray will not have to bump heads with Vince McMahon anymore, and would probably have a little more say on his storylines and usage. Triple H is bringing back released superstars that walked out of WWE. He's bringing back everyone he feels was wronged in WWE, and Bray Wyatt fits into that category perfectly. They really messed up and let a great storyteller walk out the door because he was basically caring too much about the story. So it definitely wasn't right. As far as the concrete news about Bray Wyatt's return goes, there's not much out there. Reports are being their usual vague selves. They're saying that Bray Wyatt has been considered and discussed, but that's it. Some fans out there fully believe that we'll get some surprises at Clash at the Castle. and how it would be the perfect spot for Bray Wyatt's return. And that much is true. If we're going to see a Bray Wyatt return anytime soon, a big stage like Clash at the Castle just fits perfectly. The other thing that fans are debating about is what character would Bray have if he was to return to WWE? Does he return as the Fiend, or does he reinvent himself again? No matter what Bray does, it'll still be exciting. We just want to see him back in any capacity. So if he brings back a version of the Fiend, that's great. If he goes back to the Eater of Worlds, that's also great. If he returns with something completely brand new, that'll be exciting as well. So it just doesn't matter what version of Bray Wyatt we'll get. A majority of fans just want him back in any form. And sure, Bray still does have some unfinished business with Roman Reigns. Roman won his current Universal title from The Fiend, but never pinned him for the title, and The Fiend was never given a rematch. So there is a story there. Maybe we could see something like a Money in the Bank 2021 and SummerSlam 2021, where Roman ends the show and thinks no one's left, only to lead to the return of a major star. That last happened to Roman Reigns with John Cena and Brock Lesnar. So what if he does it again after beating Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle? He's interrupted by the man he technically never beat for the title, Bray Wyatt. That would be pretty insane, but it doesn't even have to be the world title scene. Bray can just come back to reunite with Alexa Bliss, go after Seth Rollins, or just any other individual that he has some unfinished business with. There's many possible routes to take Bray Wyatt in, but we'll have to wait and see at least at Clash at the Castle to see if the rumors could be true. One of the big things when Judgment Day was just starting up was the idea of adding new members. Edge started with Damian Priest and then just constantly talked about adding a new member to the group. They added Rhea Ripley to become a group of 3 and almost added Finn Balor to become a group of 4. But the group would turn their backs on Edge and stay with Finn Balor. So they're back to having just 3 members. Judgment Day did express some interest in recruiting Dominic Mysterio for a while. So we'll have to see if they ever return to that idea. But Finn Balor recently spoke with WWE El Brunch and addressed the idea of adding new members to the group. He had this to say, quote, "Not in every case is it more important to have more soldiers. I prefer quality over quantity. We definitely have our eyes open for more quality, and when that quality presents itself, we'll definitely welcome more members to the Judgment Day." End quote. So it looks like the group will be still adding new members, but on a very limited basis, and it has to be someone worthy enough of joining. So that's something else to keep an eye on with the Judgment Day. Will WWE give them another member? Maybe adding another woman to the group so that Rhea has her own tag team partner within the group, or something like that. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.